Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, I'm going to discuss one of the most important issue that is related to China's port diplomacy. Now, China has invested in many ports in the Indian Ocean region. Now, some ports serves as naval bases and some ports served as military bases, and it is a strategic thing according to China, but it is a concern for India from the perspective of security. Clear? Now, the question here is, why is China increasing its footprint in Indian Ocean region? That means, why is China eyed on Indian Ocean region and trying to increase its influence in this region? So, first of all, we need to understand what is port diplomacy. Now, a port diplomacy क्या है? As you can see this map, that this is Indian Ocean region, and everywhere China has heavily invested in ports. Clear? So China's aim is to actually encircle India and also increase its footprint. Now, when we talk about port diplomacy is one of the crucial aspect of foreign policy. Now, why it is considered as crucial aspect of foreign policy? Now, why it is considered as crucial aspect of foreign policy? Because ports are the way to connect and cooperate with each other. Getting my point? Now, for example, if you see that water connects land. Getting my point? Water जो होता है वो क्या करता है? Land को connect करता है. So ports are considered as one of the most important tool. Now, by helping other countries and use their ports, China क्या कर सकता है? China can also make money and also build strong trade relationships, because ports are used for trade and commerce. That is why with this the countries can make money and also can build strong trade relationships. And apart from this, ports are important for security purpose. That is why countries basically they can work together to keep them safe from any troubles. यहाँ पर कंट्रीज आपस में साथ में मिलकर काम कर सकती है, so that they can keep them safe from any troubles. Getting my point? Now, when we talk about port diplomacy, so in this scenario, what is Chinese port diplomacy? अब चाइना की port diplomacy क्या है? It is one of the most important, crucial aspect or key aspect of Belt and Road Initiative of China. Now, this initiative which was launched by China in 2013. Now, this initiative involves investment heavily and developing ports around the world. China इस initiative के through क्या कर रहा है? China इस initiative के through काफी ज्यादा invest कर रहा है और develop कर रहा है ports different countries में, because China want to expand its economic and political influence around the world. Getting my point? As you can see that today China has countered United States of America in Asian region. Now China is planning to move towards Atlantic region, because still American influence is there in European as well as in Atlantic region. Getting my point? Now, that is why US and other Western countries, they had to come up with the initiatives like Indo-Pacific, getting my point, Asia-Pacific initiatives and all. Now, China also uses port as a tool. So, Belt and Road Initiative में China port को as a tool use कर रहा है to increase its global presence and to become economic power, because the same thing was done by United States of America also after Second World War. US ने भी क्या किया था? पूरे वर्ल्ड में पैसा बांटा था, and they started investing in ports, military bases and etc. Getting my point? Now, so when we talk about Belt and Road Initiative, so what does it mean? तो Belt and Road Initiative है क्या? Belt and Road Initiative is a project which was launched by China in 2013. Belt and Road Initiative launched by China in 2013. Now, what is the aim of this project? The aim of this project is to connect China with Asian regions, European and African countries through the network, through the network of land route and sea route. Clear? This is the aim of Belt and Road Initiative. Now, remember this thing. In this session, we are here to focus on non-African countries' ports, because here we are talking about Indian Ocean region. So here we are going to talk about non-African countries' ports. That means the ports in Indian Ocean region where China has invested heavily. Getting my point? So the first important port in this region is Gwadar port, which is a part of Pakistan. Now, China has invested heavily in Gwadar port in 2013, the moment China launched its initiative, that is BRI. Now, this Gwadar port is also a part of CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is a sub-initiative under Belt and Road Initiative. China ने इस पोर्ट को 43 years of lease पर लिया हुआ है to operate from 2013. Now, this port became central part of Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, and China is investing heavily in the development of this port and its infrastructure. Why? Because this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, it starts from Western China, that is Xinjiang region. Western China से शुरू होता है, then POK region, which is a security threat for India, and then it enters in Pakistan region. So with this port, with this Gwadar port, China got an entry in Arabian Sea. Getting my point? And this is a security threat for India. Now, second important investment done in Pakistan in Karachi deep water terminal. So let me show you this thing. Karachi deep water terminal in Pakistan. As you can see here, the location, Karachi. Clear? So this Karachi deep water terminal, it is a crucial part of Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. और यहाँ पर चाइना की जो इन्वॉल्वमेंट है वो सब्सटेंशियल है in this terminal. That is why it is a vital component of Chinese maritime strategy in this region. And it is also, as you can see, it is also a threat for India's security. Clear? Now, another important port, Hambantota port of Sri Lanka. Now, Sri Lanka, if you see the location of Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka is in the heart of Indian Ocean region. Now, Hambantota port, ab hua ye, Sri Lanka has signed Belt and Road Initiative and Sri Lanka has taken the investment from China, but because of the inability that Sri Lanka was unable to pay the loan to China, that is why in 2017 श्रीलंका का जो हम्बनतोटा पोर्ट है वो चाइना ने 99 years of lease पर ले लिया है. So because of its inability to repay significant loans taken from China, so Sri Lanka leased Hambantota port to China. It is a security threat for India's security. Clear? For as also India's trade and commerce. Now, apart from this, Colombo port terminal. Yes, Colombo port terminal. As you can see here, it is in southern part of Sri Lanka. Clear? Hambantota and Colombo terminals. Now, अब कोलंबो पोर्ट टर्मिनल जो है यहां पर ऑपरेट कौन करता है? चाइनीज स्टेट ओन्ड कंपनी ऑपरेट्स द कोलंबो इंटरनेशनल कंटेनर टर्मिनल. कोलंबो पोर्ट में जो सबसे बड़ा टर्मिनल है दैट इज कोलंबो इंटरनेशनल कंटेनर टर्मिनल. नाउ दिस टर्मिनल इज अ मेजर थिंग विद इन द कोलंबो पोर्ट. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? नाउ अब इससे क्या होगा? बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, एज यू कैन सी हियर दिस लोकेशन कोलंबो, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस China can enhance its trade and maritime activities in Indian Ocean region. अब ये threat क्यों है इंडिया के लिए? Because as we all know, the Chinese initiative in South China Sea, China has created 9-dash line and artificial islands. So, अगर इंडिया इस पर ध्यान नहीं देगा, so China may create artificial islands in Indian Ocean region. Getting my point? Again, a security threat for India. Now, another important port is Chittagong port. Now, Chittagong port is in Bangladesh, and this is a very important port. Though there are other ports, Chittagong, Mongla port, Paira port, and Matarbari deep sea port. Now, why Chittagong port is important? Because Chittagong port is the main seaport of Bangladesh, and it handles 80% of export-import trade. चित्तगोंग पोर्ट जो है वो 80% एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट ट्रेड को हैंडल करता है. नाउ चित्तगोंग पोर्ट इट इज अंडर द कंट्रोल ऑफ बांग्लादेश ओनली, बांग्लादेश के कंट्रोल में है. बट चाइना ने क्या किया? चाइना हैज मेड सिग्निफिकेंट इन्वेस्टमेंट इन पोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. चाइना ने काफी ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ है चित्तगोंग पोर्ट के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में. दैट इज व्हाई दिस इंक्रीजेस द इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ चाइना in Bay of Bengal region and towards Southeast Asia. Now second important port here is Paira port. Now why Paira port is important? अब एक चीज याद रखिएगा, अगेन यहां पर भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इसको मिला चाइनीज स्टेट ओन्ड कंपनी. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? अब ये जो पायरा पोर्ट है, सो हियर चाइनीज स्टेट ओन्ड कंपनी. नाउ Chinese state-owned enterprises are the primary contractors for this port. Clear? इस पोर्ट को बनाया किसने? Chinese primary state-owned companies. So these companies are the Chinese state-owned companies are the primary contractors here. Getting my point? And this is also one of the most important component of Belt and Road Initiative. Another important port is in Myanmar. अब म्यांमार का कौन सा important port है? As you can see here, Kyaukphyu port. Now this Kyaukphyu port of Myanmar, this port comes under special economic zone. अब ये special economic zone में क्यों? Because it is a deep sea port project. ये क्या है? It is a deep sea port project. That is why it comes under SEZ, special economic zone. And this is signed between Myanmar and China. And it is a threat for India. Why? Security threat है, because with this China can get access toward this northeast region of India. Getting my point? China इससे northeast में भी अपना कंट्रोल ला सकता है, इंसर्जेंसी को बढ़ावा दे सकता है. Getting my point? So this port is also a part of Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. But Myanmar hold ownership of this port. इसकी ओनरशिप किसके पास है? म्यांमार के पास ही है. But Chinese companies have substantial control over this port also, because Chinese companies, they have invested in this port. So as you can see here, that most of the neighboring countries of India, they are under the influence of port diplomacy of China. And because of this, China is increasing its footprint in India's neighboring region. That means China is trying to encircle India from all the possible sides, which is called as string of pearls. Getting my point? And it is also a security threat for India. Getting my point? That is why India has started various initiatives to secure its port as well as maritime routes like Sagar. Getting my point? Project Mosam. So various initiatives are there. Getting my point? That is why it is the time when India should take its initiative towards its neighboring region to secure the ports as well as maritime trade and commerce. इसीलिए अडानी पोर्ट्स जो ग्रुप है वो काफी ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है पोर्ट्स इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. Thank you so much.